Hi everyone! Welcome to my first book haul! I'm super excited. I have 40 books to share, so let's get started. So in July, I went to this festival for books, and I got to meet a lot of cool authors. It was in Sarasota, and I had such a blast, and I got so many books there. So let's start with that pile. The first book I got was King by T.M. Frazier. This book is about a guy named King who is a criminal, gets released from prison. He's super badass, which is my kind of book boyfriend. He meets Doe and she doesn't remember anything about her past. She's just lost and no one's looking for her. This is Stupid Hearts, a steamy romantic comedy by Kristen Holt Mazzola. So this is about a girl that falls for a guy, but he's married. She swears off guys for good, but of course, that she falls for someone and then her heart maybe gets broken. I don't know, I'm super excited because I'm going to buddy read this with my friend Crystal. And I really like her writing, so I know I'm going to love it. A Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner. I have read this book. I adore this book. This was like perfection. I cried, I freaked out, I did every emotion known to man. It was steamy, it was cute, it was angsty, it was all the emotions. Her writing is beautiful. Like, if you're gonna read any book, it's this one. It's freaking beautiful. And the main character is a little bit where you wanna hit her with a bat, but it's still amazing. Candy Steiner is super sweet. Her writing is ridiculously good. It grips you and does not let you go. And just look at this cover. So happy that I have read this, and it's going right on my shelf. Drunken Love, a wedding anthology with a bunch of different authors, and it's all about wedding or not to get married. It's about stories where they either get married, they don't get married. They're all amazing. I've read a little bit over half of these short stories, and they're all amazing for the most part. They're all 4, 5 stars. Amazing writing. They hook you. I just love them all. They're all angsty. Definitely A plus. The next pile of books is books that I got either on Amazon or there's a little indie bookstore in a couple towns over. First one I have is Poles Apart by Kirstie Mosley. So this is about a guy that is he's a race car driver. He's a race car driver and he's always winning. He has a celebrity lifestyle, gets every girl he wants, blah blah blah, typical. And then he meets this girl that is a pole dancer and he starts to get feelings for her. It just sounds really good. And this cover is gorgeous. So I'm super excited to read this. Our next book is a wedding book, of course. Trust, Honor, and Love by J.M. Witt. This is the first one in the Blind Vows duology. And it has a number 1 on the book, which I'm so thankful for. More books and series should do this. And I got it signed. I got them all signed, but this one was actually at the indie bookstore and it's still signed, so it's really exciting. There's 2 boys, and one of them gets her. They're both brothers, and he tricks her into falling in love with her. Weird wedding game, I'm not sure, but I'm super excited to find out because it's about weddings, so yes, please. Next book that I got, I think is an ARC. I got it off Amazon, but it just, look, tell me that's not an ARC. That just looks like an ARC. It's called Rockstar Untamed by Michelle Love, and it was wonderful. There was lots of spelling errors, but I think that's because it's an ARC. But overall, I think I give it like 4 or 5 stars. Really good. Really good. It's a little bit different because it has a little bit of mystery in it, but wonderful. My next book is Atheists Who Kneel and Pray by Tarryn Fisher. Tarryn Fisher did a book called Never with Colleen Hoover, And if it's with Colin Hoover, yes please. He's a really, really amazing author as well, so I'm excited to read. All I know about this is that main character, she just goes from men to men. This guy who's a musician. I'm not really sure. The back of the book is kind of a little bit confusing, but he's a musician. They're gonna figure out something together. The religion is gonna be their love, as long as it's not about cults. Win-win. It has like this really weird font on the inside. I don't know. But I'm super excited to read this. I will definitely be letting you guys know. The next book is Beautiful Bastard! Yay! I'm super, super excited about this. I heard this is like office romance. There's this guy who hires this assistant overseas, but they're arguing. Nemesis turned into lovers kind of thing, I'm assuming. And I'm super excited. I heard this is super amazing, which is why I got it. My next one is called The Baller, a down and dirty football novel by V. Keelan. V. Keelan is an amazing writer. I've read a couple of her stuff and I love it, so of course I had to get this one. It's about a football player who thinks he's the complete shiz, and it's not always the case. A girl that is interviewing this football player, and he just all of a sudden drops his trousers and towel in the. They're in the fitting room, not the fitting room. They're in the locker room. They're in the locker room, and after that, they're just enemies because he just likes to screw with her and make her feel uncomfortable. And he wants to screw her instead. So my last one that I got from Amazon was Because You Left to Hate Me, an anthology. So I'm excited about this one because it's about villains, and a lot of my favorite authors are here, and a lot of my favorite booktubers are here. So yes, thank you. I don't even need to know, okay? Villains, YouTube, favorite authors, like what? There wasn't really a choice in that matter. My next pile of books are ones that I traded with on Twitter, because on Twitter there's hashtag books for trade. So I was trading with a bunch of people and I got a bunch of awesome books. So my first book that I got, Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I heard that the setting is either in like Czech or around there. So what? I'm Slovakian, so of course anything around that area I need to read. I'm not really big on fantasy, but I'm definitely gonna give this one a try. So I want to read something by Laini Taylor. We have We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I already read this a couple years ago and I absolutely loved it. I wasn't thinking, so I just like went into it, didn't read the back or anything, and that's why I like going into these kinds of books, these mystery books. And the ending got me. I was flipping out, crying. It was so good. Some people don't like it, but there's like mixed reviews. But I absolutely adored it. I love her writing though. I read another one of her books, but I can't remember the name right now. But it's wonderful. I'm really excited for her next book, Genuine Fraud, that's coming out. But this one was amazing. I'm so glad I got this. My next book I got was November 9th by Colleen Hoover. Yay! I'm so excited because I want to get all her books. So this one is about a girl and a guy, and they meet every year on November 9th, and they have like one day together. And I guess it expands for like a couple of different years. So I'm excited to read about that. But I guess the guy is a novelist. He's a writer, and he's using their one day to help his book or something, from what it says in the back. But either way, I love Colleen Hoover. She's the best, so I'm excited. All the Right Places by Jennifer Niven. So my book club is actually going to be reading this in a couple months. I don't know what it's about, but I don't really want to know because I just want to go into it blind. But I'm super excited. Then I have Four, it's like short story collection, and it's a companion with the Divergent series by Veronica Roth, and I'm super excited to read this. This is the only one of the Divergent series that I haven't read, of course, and I love Four, except in the last book because it was acting crazy. But I'm excited about this because I need more of Four in my life. Yes, please. And my last book is Landline by Rainbow Rowell. Yay! I love Eleanor and Park. Obsessed over that book. So anything else by her, I am down for. This book is about a woman who's a little bit older. So this is like her adult book, but she's like in her 30s or 40s, and she's super workaholic. So she goes away on a trip, or the husband goes away, and then she decides she wants to talk to him, so she calls him. But when she calls him, she calls the one that was him like 30 years ago or 20 years ago when they first got married. And then they have like a conversation, something like that, and they rekindle, I'm assuming. So I'm excited to read her book about that. She makes such an amazing atmosphere, and I'm really excited to read this one too. Like all these books, of course. The next pile of books is books that I got at the thrift store or my friend gave to me. The next pile of books are either books I got at the thrift store or books that my friend Crystal gave to me because she was unhauling a bunch of her books. So, the first book is Beautiful Beginning, which is part of the Beautiful Bastard series. It's like book 4 or 9, so I don't really know what it's about, but once I read the first one, no, I have to read a bunch of them, but I'm glad to have this because it was only like a couple dollars at the thrift store. So yeah. Mr. Darcy Vampire. So all I know is that he's a vampire, and all it says on the back is, a married man in possession of a dark fortune must be in need of an eternal wife. Pride and Prejudice, Vampire Edition. What? I already bought. My next book is another Colleen Hoover book. It's Point of Retreat, which is the sequel after Slammed. So I don't know what it's about, but the book is Walking Disaster. This is the spin-off of Beautiful Disaster, which is in either pile. So I don't know much about this, but I know it's from Travis's point of view. So, yes, I had to get this one. And then I have Beautiful Wedding and Beautiful Wedding. 2 covers, but they're both so pretty. So, this is the second book to Beautiful Disaster. This is a novella, actually. But it's the same story told in someone else's point of view, I think. So, I'm glad to have that. The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner. Now, the only book by Stephenie Meyer, the only book that I read is Twilight, but I used to love Twilight when it first came out in like sophomore year when it was, and I don't know why. I mean, I know why people don't like it, but when I read it at that time, it was the most perfect time for me. It spoke to me as like a teenager, and I just want the whole collection. I don't know if I'm going to read it all because I don't want to ruin the image that I have of that book. But I got this one because it's only $1 and it fits with the rest of my collection. So this is about a girl whose family gets arrested during, I'm assuming, I don't know if it's during the Holocaust, but it's around that time. It's 1941, and they get arrested and they get put into cattle cars, and it's their journey over to Lithuania. So I'm super excited about that. I've never read a book about Lithuania. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So I'm excited about that, and it's about love and survival, and I just love books about that kind of time. And so I'm super excited about that. And I heard this is really good. A lot of people confuse this with 50 Shades of Grey, but I promise you it's not that. Not that there's anything wrong with that book, but this isn't it. This is a YA historical romance. Historical fiction. So, that should be in You by Caroline Kepnes. This is about a stalker, from what I know. A stalker, a guy in a bookstore. And he's a bookseller at a bookstore, and this girl comes into his life who buys books, and he becomes obsessed with her, and he just wants to watch you. So this is told in like second person, where it feels like the girl, like you're the actual girl, and he's stalking you. And I heard it's really freaky, but something that you need to read. So I'm excited to read this eventually. The Duff, the movie version book. But it was only $1, so I had to get it. I'm not really too excited about it, but it was $1, and I heard the movie was good. So the book has to be better, right? That's how it works. So all I know about this is that the Duff stands for the designated ugly fat friend, and the guy and the girl get together even though they don't like each other, but then they start getting feelings for one another, of course, like it always is. And he's a big football player kind of person, and she's now part of that crowd. But they start talking and blah 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 blah, and good things happen, hopefully. Okay. Yeah. Ash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Cohen and David Levitin. I read this book, loved it, super cute. I love Lily. She's super sweet, and I'm so glad I bought it. What's Pinocchio? And isn't this like the coolest like cover? It's just, and then you open it. Look, what? Super cute. I just had to get it put on my shelf. I've never read Pinocchio, I've just seen the movie, but maybe I will because it's super cute. I love this cover. The list, which is where this list comes out of the most 10 pretty girls and the most 10 ugly girls. And it's like a typical YA, and I think she's put on the ugly girls, but we'll see if I read this book. The next book is Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire, which is the first book in the Beautiful Disaster series. And I tried to read this like a couple years ago. I got it on my Kindle, and I tried to read it, but it didn't catch my attention. So I'm hoping now that I actually have like the physical book, which is how I like to read books. I have a hard time reading it when it's just like an e-copy. It's about this girl Abby, who she's like a super super good girl, never does anything wrong, and then she gets to college and shiz goes down. She meets this guy Travis, and she goes down the bad path. So we'll see how that works. Then I got a whole bunch of Abby Glines books, so I'm super excited. She has a Sea Breeze novel. Sorry, she has a Sea Breeze series, and I got a bunch of those. So the first one is Breathe by Abby Glines. Look at these covers, they're so pretty. Well, typical new adult romance. And then a lot of these aren't in order, but my friend gave it to me, so I'll have to buy the ones that don't fit if I really like the series. So from what I know about this series, or let me rephrase that, from what I read from the back of the book, is that there's this girl who is working as a servant in a rich household to help support her pregnant single mother. And then two of the guys in here see her and like fall in love with her. And I think there's like a love triangle, but it sounds like yumminess all wrapped up in one package. The problem is that there's like 9 books in this series, and I have a serious problem finishing series. Like if it's more than 3 books, God help me. So, but look, it's so so pretty. And I have them all, so I know this is the last one while it lasts, so I can't read the back, of course. Thou shall not. This is like a vampire book, but I like to go into these types. I like to go into any book that's not romance, not really knowing what it's about. So all I know is this is a vampire type book, and look at this writing. That's all that I was sold. Look at that writing. That writing. That writing. Yes. Just it's different, unique, a little bit heavy, super pretty, will look beautiful on my shelf. That's all I need. So, thank you so much for watching, and if you know any of these books, just let me know what I should read because I have way too many now. And this is just my first book haul. I've been obsessively buying books the last couple months, so that'll be one of the reasons I started this channel, was just to force myself to actually read some of these books, be accountable. But super excited to read all these books, and I will see you next time. Have a great day. Love you. Bye.